Alright, so for the Reactions and Solutions Lab, our task was to gather 10 chemicals, which were sodium iodide, sodium carbonate, sodium phosphate, sodium sulfate, sodium hydroxide, and cobalt chloride, copper chloride, strontium chloride, tin chloride, and iron chloride. So we grabbed the first 5 elements and we combined them with the second 5 elements. So basically we combined, for every group A chemical, we combined with a group B chemical, and we combined them in a well plate to see if they form precipitates or not. So in the first reaction, we have sodium iodide and cobalt chloride. So when you add sodium iodide and cobalt chloride together, the reaction reads NaI plus CoCl2, and that yields NaCl, salt, plus cobalt iodide. And then once we balance that, we get 2 NaI, CoCl2, and that yields 2 NaCl plus CoI2. In the first one, we did not see a precipitate, basically because we didn't see any solid forming in it. It was just clear liquid, and it wasn't dusty or anything like that. Alright, the second reaction is sodium carbonate and copper 2 chloride. So when you combine that, it yields NaCl plus CuCO3, which is copper chloride. When you balance that, you put a 2 in front of the NaCl on the right side, and your products are 2 NaCl plus CuCO3, and in this case, CuCO3 was our precipitate. We know that because the solid was formed at the bottom, and the substance almost looks cloudy after we combined them together. Alrighty, so the third one is sodium phosphate and strontium chloride. So sodium phosphate reads Na3PO4, and strontium chloride is SrCl2. When you combine those, you get NaCl and Sr3PO4. Then to balance that, you put a 3 in front of the SrCl2 on the left side, and a 3 in front of the NaCl on the right side. And then, so your products are 3 NaCl plus Sr3PO4, and Sr3PO4, or strontium phosphate, that is our precipitate. Alright, the fourth reaction is sodium sulfate and tin 2 chloride. So when we combine Na2SO4 and CuCl2, we get NaCl plus SnSO4. So obviously there's a pattern here. There's every one so far we've had has had NaCl, and we know that can't be the precipitate just because salt is dissolved in water. Yeah, so when we get that, our products are NaCl and SnSO4. This one did not have a precipitate. And the last one is sodium hydroxide and iron chloride. So when you combine those two, you get NaOH plus FeCl3, and that yields NaCl plus FeOH3. To balance it, you put a 3 in front of the NaOH on the left side, and a 3 in front of the NaCl on the right side. And that means that since there was we saw a precipitate, that must mean that FeOH3, or iron hydroxide, has to be our precipitate, just because we know salt can't be it.